Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so, obviously, we got the news yesterday about the new Turles. We got the details for him. Very mixed reactions across the community. I did a video going over some of those community responses. So, if you haven't seen it, go check it out and let me know your thoughts about physical Turles over on that video. But for this one, we are going to talk about what his banner is going to look like and whether or not it is going to be worth summoning on, because his banner will see the return of a new return of a Dokkan Fest for the first time, who has not yet returned since their initial release, who does actually fit on his 200% leader skill as well, and is another unit that I think is quite underrated. Now, obviously, when we get the data download, we will see the splash image for the banner, but those are basically always just the image of the main unit and the side banner unit. So obviously we know that physical Turles is going to be the main new featured unit, and then he has two side banner units, the Amond and Raisin. This unit is incredibly good, like an even better version of Rakumen Guldo, and then the other one is the Cacao and Days. They're kind of like, it's funny because the other unit is like Jason Berta, but even, Rakumen Guldo, but even better. And then this unit is like Jason Berta, but I don't know if I would say they're worse, but like they're the same kind of thing where they are the worst of the two side banner units. And definitely nowhere near like as worth getting as the other one, right? So we know for a fact that the banner is going to have these three units featured, but who will the rest of the units be? Obviously it's JP, so it won't have any tickets or discounted summons. But if we take a look at the, let me move to the more zoomed out view here. So this is the Captain Ginyu banner. Now, whilst this did release in a slightly different time slot, because obviously this was the first Dokkan Fest after the anniversary, so this is the time slot where the STR Super 17 that's about to come out on Global released on JP. However, this was the only banner in recent history that did have two side banner units, so we're kind of using this one as the blueprint for this banner. So obviously here where Captain Ginyu is, we would have Turles, and then we would have Amond and Raisin and Cacao and Dai. So you have the three new units at the top, and then we have the returning Dokkan Fest right here. So that unit is going to be Tech Bardock, who is a unit that I think is super underrated. God damn, these wiki ads, go away. There we go. The Tech Bardock I think is super underrated. He does get the 200% leader skill from Turles, because obviously Turles has Pure Saiyans as one of his 170s, and then has Low Class Warrior as his plus 30%. Bardock, obviously pretty good. Now, the problem with Bardock potentially for Turles' team is that to get the Scouter effect and the Orb changing, which really optimizes Bardock's performance and his value to the team, you need to have an ally whose name includes Goku or be fighting against a Frieza. And there's only really like, there's like one red zone. I mean, I guess technically there's two because there's Frieza and King Cold, but that one's super easy. There's like one red zone with Frieza, which at this point I would imagine most people have completed, so it's not like there's any point to actually playing it again other than just for fun and testing out teams and stuff. So the problem is you need to run a Goku with him on the team, but you also can't, it doesn't include like the Captain Ginyu. It does say Junior and then etc. I don't actually know if that includes Kid Goku, because physical Path to Power Kid Goku is actually a pretty decent option for Turles' team, because even though they don't share a lot of links, Kid Goku gets his 200% leader skill. If you get the 7 orbs, you get the damage reduction, which obviously benefits Turles defensively. But it means you would have to run like another Goku if he doesn't count on that team in order to get Bardock's full passive, which of course, I guess there are a couple of Gokus. In fact, the Tech World Tournament Goku, the newest one, is on Turles' full 200% as well. So that could be quite interesting. The only problem if you start splashing in these super type units is neither the World Tournament Goku or this Bardock are going to link up super well with Turles, and that World Tournament Goku and Bardock don't actually link up super well between themselves either. So it does start to make the team a little bit more wonky. But if you don't have this guy, like I say, I think he's underrated. He's pretty good. I like running his team build because you can have basically like him and a bunch of Gokus getting the full 200% lead. It's quite a fun team. And we know it's going to be him returning, because if we look back at the schedule, so this was October 2022 on JP. This is where Physical Path to Power Kid Goku came out, and Physical Path to Power Kid Goku returned for the first time on Kale's banner, which, if you recall, was the last Dokkan Fest exclusive banner to drop on JP before Golden Week. So that banner came out, Goku returned for the first time, then we had the Golden Week banners, and then if we scroll down here, obviously the Gammas are kind of an anomaly. They released at a weird time and they came out on both versions, even though it was like a week later for Global. And then the next Dokkan Fest was Bardock. So that means the next Dokkan Fest after Kale, where Path to Power Goku returned, that means Bardock's going to return. And Golden Week doesn't count, so we've skipped past there. And now here we are with the release of Turles. So Tech Bardock will be on the banner. So Tech Bardock will be taking up the place of the Tech Androids if we go by this blueprint for the banner. So that means we are going to have 3 more SSRs featured, and this is where it kind of just goes up in the air, right? Now, one thing that we do see from time to time is I think it's usually only in bigger celebrations though, that the unit that's going to get an easy A in the celebration, they're not normally featured on these kind of banners, right? Because there's going to be an easy A. We don't know who it's going to be. I think for the sake of Turles, it's probably best if it's the LR Turles army. But we'll see. So they always give them their own separate, like, easy A banner. So I don't think the unit that's going to easy A is going to be featured on Turles' actual banner. So we need to fill these 3 slots with potential other units. So obviously the first one that comes to mind, which, you know, they do this a lot when they bring out new versions of a character, is, I would not be surprised, and of course I've just closed the tab, is this guy right here, AGL Turles, right? So he's being replaced by the physical Turles. Absolutely would not be surprised if he was featured on the banner. Means it would kind of suck if you do pull him instead, but if you are summoning for the new one and you pull a couple of these guys along the way, you know, at worst you can use them for Kai's free SA levels, or you can obviously just trade them in for the red coins. But I would be shocked if he's not featured, right? Because they've got to fill these other 3 slots with somebody else. And he's not exactly like a terrible value unit. Like, the fact that he has an easy A, he can still be somewhat decent. It's just obviously with the release of a new Turles with the same name, his value does decrease. But I do think he will be featured on the banner. So if we were to slide him in the STR Kefla slot here, that means we have 2 more featured units that we need to include. So I was trying to think with the leader skills of Turles. Now, because he has Pure Saiyans as one of his 170s, we could see almost any combination of units here. So I tried to lean into the Space Traveling Warriors part of his leader skill a little bit more. And obviously one unit we could see on the banner is the STR Bojack. Now, he doesn't have an easy A. I actually wouldn't be totally shocked if he was the easy A for this celebration. Maybe it's too soon, because I guess he's not quite, well, he's not super far off being 3 years old. And him getting an easy A would be a direct buff to Turles' team, right? He will be on the Turles team. He's not on Planetary Destruction though, is he? So he's only going to get the 170, but he is a Space Traveling Warriors support unit. So if he gets a good easy A, and this support is bumped up a little bit, you know, he's going to be very, very good on that team with Turles. Even if you just use him as like a 3rd slot floating unit, he's a unit that has big bad bosses that can proc that for Turles, because his 2 side banner units do not have big bad bosses. They have the other links that you want to get for Turles, like Destroyer of the Universe, but they don't have big bad bosses. So this guy getting an easy A in this celebration would be pretty cool, but as we kind of talked about earlier, if he is going to get one, then that means he probably isn't going to be featured on the banner. So if he ends up being featured on the banner, I would almost imagine that that's like a soft confirmation that he's not going to be getting an easy A during this celebration. And then the other one that I thought of was, of course, you know, we've already kind of mentioned him because we're using his banner as a blueprint, and that is Captain Ginyu. Because the Ginyu Force are on Space Traveling Warriors, so he would be on the team as well. Again, he would only be getting the 170 lead. Now, Ginyu is built around being on the Ginyu Force team, So he's not going to be anywhere near as good if you just ran him on Turles' team. Like, he doesn't provide any support other than to Ginyu Force allies. So he's not really a good unit for Turles' team. But I believe, yeah, Terrifying Conquerors and then Space Riding Warriors. So Turles is on his 200% leader skill. So they do have some crossover. I wouldn't be surprised if he was featured on the banner. And so, I mean, those are two, like, pretty strong choices. And then, of course, this guy's just the older version of Turles. And then if we have a look at the Space Traveling Warriors roster, obviously there's not going to be any LRs. There's actually not really that many options when you start scrolling through of, like, actual Dokkan Fest exclusives that could be featured. Pan returned for the first time on the Super 17 banner not long ago for JP, so very unlikely that she would be on there. Moving down to, like, look how few Space Traveling Warriors Dokkan Fest exclusives there are. In fact, there are no int ones, Super or Extreme. STR, I mean, Jiren. I mean, he's got to get an easy A at some point, but I imagine that will be in the Universe Survival Saga themed celebration. STR Cooler, I guess I could see him being on there, right? He's got big bad bosses. He only supports transformation boost, though, when there's one enemy, which Turles isn't on. And then he supports Terrifying Conquerors when there's multiple enemies. But there's not many relevant events where you're going to be fighting multiple enemies. So Turles, I mean, he could be on the banner, but Turles doesn't really get a direct buff from this guy, other than the fact that he has big bad bosses. And, you know, he will be supporting some of the units that you could run on the team. And then when we go down to physical, I mean, there's Beerus. He doesn't link well with any of these guys, but he is on Space Traveling Warriors. And then there is Raditz. Imagine if Raditz was on the banner. The two extreme physical Saiyan units that both, funnily enough, lead Pure Saiyans and are both considered disappointing releases. It would actually be quite ironic if Raditz was on the banner. So, yeah, the last couple of slots definitely are up for interpretation. Let me know what you guys think down below. But I think the one thing, I mean, what we can pretty much be certain of is we've got Turles, the two side banner units, Bardock, and then these three are the slots that are up for negotiation. Like I say, I'm fairly confident one of them will be AGL Turles, as annoying as that is. And then the other two, we've gone through a few options here, but let me know who you think those slots will be filled by down below in the comment section. Who would you like to see on there? Who do you think it's more realistic? Would you summon on this banner? Are there any units that could sway you to summon if you weren't intending to before? Obviously, you know, we're not going to get any LRs or anything crazy like that, but I don't know. The banner could be decent, right? Bardock is good. Turles, I think once by the time this video goes up, I don't know if the data download will have gone up actually yet, so we may or may not have seen him in game yet, because I'm recording this the night before it's going to go up because I'm at work all day tomorrow. So by the time this video goes live, I will be at work, and I don't know if the like private server showcases will have gone up yet. But let me know your thoughts. Would you summon? Are you skipping? Obviously for JP, the Tanabata celebration is not far away. And last year that gave us Vegeta and Trunks, who were the best unit in the game for a while. So probably going to be worth saving for Tanabata for a lot of people. But let me know what you think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.